The final chapter of Kaiju number 8 has dropped, and I'm going to explain the ending step by step. So let's speed run the final fight to get everyone on the same page. Essentially, the entire world was in danger as number 9 adapted to everything like Mahoraga, and he could poop out Daikaiju level monsters with ease. I'm talking magnitude level 9 and higher. He spread them across the city to start a war against humans, where the defense force split their army to engage. In preparation, multiple characters received kaiju weapons like Leno appearing with weapon number 6 as he encouraged Kafka to reach Mina. Kafka then farmed hella aura saving his girl as she was defeated by number 9 and almost got absorbed. But to counter, Kafka learned to throw hands like the general and trained with Hoshino, unlocking the squadron-style combat technique. Bro gave the left-right good night, and the two of them, they were basically doing ora 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 to each other as the city collapsed. Eventually, Kafka used alternative third form to catch Kaiju number 9 off guard, and he critically hit him, but number 9 decided to evolve to take him out. The fight led to Mina and Kafka's childhood dream coming true as they fight alongside each other to save the world. However, even this wasn't enough as they both got bodied instantly. So because of this, Kafka had to unleash his final attack. He learned to control the berserk state of number 8 for 1 minute, and Mina then whips out the biggest gun in her arsenal. Working together, they managed to expose number 9's core as General Isao comes back from number 9's inner consciousness to restrain his will. This is because number 9 mistakenly used number 2 to merge with, but the general's will to save the world with Kafka, it altered the victory for humanity. But guess what? We find out! In true shonen fashion, number 9 wasn't actually the final boss. He was just a shell for the Maraiki era Daikaiju from almost 400 years ago. In the year 1657, it rampaged for 100 days and was the cause of the greatest massacre of kaiju slayers in history. It eventually fused with Kaiju number 9 and hid inside its body this entire time. The Maraiki Kaiju was the strongest of all time, reaching magnitude levels above 10, 11, 12. Basically, it was incomprehensible in the scaling and it killed everything instantly. And that's when Kafka actually died. However, we then found out number 8's true identity and origin. The mysterious parasite is revealed to be an amalgamation of the collective shame and unresolved anguish of the defeated samurai from that era. It absorbed their soul's regret at failing to protect Japan. This emotional residue fused with their heart created a new organism over centuries. But unlike other mindless kaiju, number 8's parasite stated, "I found you" when it merged with Kafka, signaling a conscious choice. It actively sought him out since he is from their bloodline, and Kafka's 0% combat score in chapter 5 meant it only allowed number 8 to fully merge with his body and mind without conflict. But since number 9 destroyed Kafka's kaiju core, he must turn his own human heart into a new core, leaving behind the chance of ever living like a normal person. So feeling sympathy for number 8's resolve for revenge and not being able to protect the world, Kafka obviously took the deal and mutated into a new form, unleashing waveforms belonging to neither a human nor kaiju. His fortitude level became unmeasurable, and this was linked to the entire storyline of Kafka having to give away his humanity to gain more power. Remember, the defense force warned him that the more he transformed, the less his human shape came back. His hand permanently turned into a kaiju, for instance. But nonetheless, embodying a true hero of Japan, Kafka comes back for round 2, with Mina firing off the biggest blast ever. Kikuro Shinomiya using multiple numbered weapons and surpassing her limits, and the entire defense force creating an opportunity for Kafka's new power to hit the core and kill the 400-year-old bitch. Now, there's not much else to explain about the Daikaiju of the Maraiki era because guess what? It literally says nothing and has no character development. That's why this twist is getting heavy criticism from Kaiju number 8 manga readers, as it feels like a last-minute undercooked review. Much like when Kaguya came completely out of nowhere, a similar feeling, right when fans were invested in Madara, a villain with actual build-up and history. Yeah, we can argue it was foreshadowed a tiny bit in chapter 104, as Mina saw a glimpse of it, but that's all we got. Number 9, in contrast, was a brilliant villain for the manga, with the entire philosophy of seeing humans as a flawed species who abuse the world, and views Kaiju as the true inheritors of Earth. He believed in the survival of the fittest, where Kaiju should evolve beyond limitations and emotions. It made a lot of sense and was a great foil to Kafka's motivations of wanting to prove his humanity by using the very power they fear the most. However, the Muraiki monster, it was completely mid in all aspects. And another criticism I have about the ending is Kafka. This dude barely develops as a character. He's supposed to be a 32-year-old, a grown man with life experience and trauma. That was the whole point of his arc in the beginning of the manga. He subverted the usual shonen mold and the tropes. But by the end, throughout the manga, he's acting like your generic 17-year-old shonen protagonist, yelling about the power of friendship without offering any deeper challenge to the enemy's beliefs. You'd expect Kafka to confront number 9 about it, but he never really answers that. He just punches harder and harder each time. There's no moment where Kafka reflects on his humanity or uses his age and wisdom to counter number 9's twisted logic. He just remembers his child self that he failed and wants to fulfill a promise with Mina. But I'll get to the ship with her in just a minute, because oh boy, don't even get me started. But let's get back to Kafka's victory. It's broadcasted to the whole world. They all celebrate and are in complete shock that he pulled it off. We see Kafka's number 1 supporter from chapter 2, the little girl that he saved. She's had faith in him ever since, and well, now she will have a peaceful future. However, things get dark real quick. Kafka dies for a second time. The souls and energy residing in number 8 fade away into nothingness. They dipped after getting what they want, and since he took the deal becoming one of them, Kafka accepts his fate. In his inner conscious, Kafka speaks to his younger self. A whole ass Jujutsu Kaisen moment occurs as Kafka states he's dying with regrets. But as long as he gave it everything he had, he's content, because in truth, the one dream he had to fight side by side with his girl came true. Now I know what you're expecting. The final chapter is going to show them dating or confess their feelings, or even better, they're married, right, ABD? Remember, they were simply the captain and vice captain of the Kafka Corps in the childhood, right? 9 years prior to the start of the manga, Mina was blessed with incredible power and passed the exam with ease, whereas Kafka failed over 5 times. But Mina's innate talent proved to be a curse without Kafka by her side. Mina was terrified fighting all alone and felt immense pressure. She prayed for Kafka to hurry up as she was lonely without him. She actually grew depressed when she realized that he would never make it. It was foreshadowed even more times that these two are actually in love with each other. Like, look back at chapter 69, Kafka runs into Mina on the rooftop where she asks him to stay, and she opens up for the first time in 9 years, telling Kafka that he's always the one who drives headfirst into danger, always thinking of others before himself. So to her, he's still the same boy she looked up to all those years ago. Now, despite the time and becoming a little kaiju, Mina still understands Kafka better than anyone. And in one of the most intimate moments in the entire manga, Mina brings up their old promise. And then their ship gets even more obvious during Mina's battle with number 9. She's pushed to her absolute breaking point, and what we see next is her real self. Mina starts losing hope and she feels like a failure, but not as a commander or a savior of Japan, but as Kafka's vice captain. Number 9 tries to exploit this. He invades her mind and drags her out of her deepest fear, showing her visions of Kafka as a child, telling her everything will be okay if she just gives in. But Mina doesn't fall for it. Even when she's on the verge of death in chapter 103, she refuses to let go. Because to her, Kafka wasn't just some childhood crush. He was the one person who made her feel invincible. By his side, she believes she could take on any kaiju, and she finally admits it. She needs him. And that single moment to the fandom, where she was reduced to tears holding on to that one memory of him, it was the final proof that we needed that their bond could become a awesome love story, right? But where did the author go in the final chapter, you say? What did he do? Yep, this is the only interaction these two have after 4 months, and she says the car is waiting? That's it? Like, I'm about to crash out, fam, because where did this entire subplot even go? It was flushed down the toilet for no reason, and even if it wasn't a ship and their feelings were platonic, give us some more reason to believe that and some dialogue then. Where is it? But I kind of jumped ahead for a second. Let's rewind a moment. You're probably wondering, wait, didn't Kafka die? He took the deal. There must be some consequences.
No.
Well, General Isao appears saying, you ain't dying today, boy. I won't allow it. Isao manages to control the kaiju tissue that's still in contact with Kafka as a conduit. All the consciousness that were fused with the Maraiki monster are leaving the world to pass on to the afterlife. 2 story arcs basically come to an end. The General is here to thank Kafka for his service. Isao is the one that gave Kafka a chance to prove his humanity and backed him against everyone wanting to use him as a weapon. Even still, Kafka laments that the city is destroyed, but the General tells him not to worry. Humanity always pushes forward together even after experiencing countless catastrophes. They mention number 6 because 10 years ago, that kaiju was at the center of various problems which brought the death of 200 Defense Force officers and 3 captains like his wife Hikairi Shinomiya being a victim. So through those struggles, what humans have learned, we adapt to build a stronger world. As a result, Japan will recover and learn from all the data of their battle to ensure something like this doesn't happen again. However, there is one final mission Kafka is given. The General states this is where the real fight begins. He wants Kafka to help humanity rebuild and face the new threats that will come in the future. He then drops acknowledgement that Kafka is indeed a member of the Defense Force, and suddenly he smashes his own heart into Kafka, telling him to take care of everyone, especially his daughter Kikuru. As a result, Kafka comes back to life and he isn't kaiju anymore. We then find out Kafka's been in a coma for 4 months, and during that time, bruh, literally nothing really changed, except for the small detail that, 1,316 kaiju showed up. 18 of them were Dai Kaiju, and some of them are numbered, meaning their magnitude is 9.0 or higher. Then, get this, Japan took 56.4 trillion yen in damage. That's around $359 billion. So basically, the economy is cooked. Like actually cremated. Tell me how Japan's gonna bounce back from that without selling their entire soul to the IMF or getting bailed out by the US like it's 1945 again. And let's be honest, for a new generation in that world, them wanting to buy a house, gone. Stable jobs, deleted. Them having dreams, bye-bye. Bro, they're gonna be eating instant noodles in an abandoned Defense Force bunker whilst applying for internships at companies that no longer exist. It's like, congrats, you survived the kaiju war. Now suffer under hyperinflation, rent you can't pay, and a 70-year mortgage. Just like us for real in the real world. This is absolutely stupid. Okay. We then learned the public believe in a conspiracy theory that the government was trying to reduce the population, with kaiju number 8 being the mastermind behind it all. Everyone is wondering who is number 8 and why was it working alongside the Defense Force as a bioweapon. No information is given to the public and everything is classified, so Kafka must hide his identity. Number 8 is not dead after all.
What the fuck is going on here?
Apparently, the arse pulls don't end. The General must have stopped the souls from leaving to heaven to finally receive the peace they wanted.
That's just lazy writing.
He either forced them to stay or they made the decision themselves to help out this error. Like, I'm just saying, if it was me, I'm telling you to fuck right off. I'm going to heaven, bro. Why would I want to stay within a vessel of a man on Earth? It's basically a bloody prison. It makes no sense. Why couldn't Kafka just receive receive his combat suit again and realize his 0% score was number 8's doing and his real score is 96% just like Mina, since they have the same resolve and promise as in their childhood. Instead, we get almost no stakes for any character, underdeveloped, undercooked, and several plot points are left unresolved. The whole thing about never being human again, it was a waste of time. Kaiju still exists in the world, and the whole thing about finding out their origin, it goes nowhere. Kaiju have been theorized as being born from the immense energy produced by the faults in the earth, acting upon the underground substances, plants, and animals to produce them. But if over 1,000 got born again within 4 months, is it just a cycle humanity has to deal with over and over again? Even still, the story continues as Kafka returns to Defense HQ. Everything got rebuilt swiftly whilst he was asleep. He reminisces on his entire journey, like when he took the exams and built friendships. Back then, Kafka was seen as a threat to the world, but now he's gained the respect and admiration of the entire army. They all greet him with smiles and open arms instead of guns and glares. They're glad Kafka is alive and welcome him back to the squad. And him being overwhelmed, our MC gets emotional and cries. Kafka then learns of everything that happened so far. Mina's 3rd division has equaled the strength of the 1st, and the Kaiju Slayers have entered a golden age. The number of applications to join the defense team has quadrupled, and Mina's team is buried in paperwork since they got so famous. Kikoro Shinomiya became vice captain of the 1st division and hopes to become the strongest of all time, hoping that one day she will surpass Narumi. But then what about Kafka's conclusion? Well, he's become this superhero kinda like Spider-Man who must hide his identity whilst doing all the good in the world. The story comes full circle. While shopping as a civilian, a kaiju appears and Kafka evacuates everyone to safety. But Soshido quickly reminds him not to transform into number 8, as it will only put him in danger, as all the research facilities in the world want to know about it. I didn't even know there was any world building in this manga. I thought it was only Japan, but now we know the whole bloody world has kaiju, like America, Russia, China, India, England. Where are all these I don't even want to get into where are their kaijus and their characters. I'm just saying there was just so much potential and it was thrown.
That just makes no fucking sense.
Anyway, getting back to the point. In this dire situation, we see 2 children that resemble Kafka and Mina. This is a throwback to their situation. Kafka and Mina were both victims of kaiju attacks that devastated their hometown. In the aftermath, both children were left orphaned and traumatized. And standing in the rubble, that's when they made their promise to work together in the defense force. And this is when it's revealed that the kids share the same dream, as they want to join the defense force too. So Kafka becoming the shining symbol of hope and justice, as the kids stand before the monster, he swoops in and tells them to make a promise. Kafka is now the leader of Mina's 3rd division support squad called the Kaiju Analysis Team, and it's revealed that only on a few occasions when the time is right, Kafka transforms into number 8 and destroys the bad guys. And that's the ending, people. I swear the only way this rushed ending was gonna be saved is if a sequel is announced. But make sure to tell me what you think in the comments. I really want to know. And check out this video about Saitama's power going viral as he's becoming the number 1 hero in the story.